7 News, live from the Adelaide studios of Channel 7.
Good morning, you're watching a special 7 News bulletin.
A section of the city's in lockdown as police close in on dangerous fugitive Rodney Clavell.
Heavily armed officers have cordoned off a business premises on King William Street where Clavell's believed to be holed up inside.
Police are desperate for a peaceful resolution. Jessica Adamson joins us live from the scene. And Jess, we understand some women have been released from the premises where he's holed up.
Good morning, Jane and John, and that's right. In the last couple of minutes, there has been a massive development. We can see pictures of 3 women being escorted from the building by heavily armed Star Group officers, and that is a development that would make police very happy this morning. Now, as we know, this tense siege began at about 1 o'clock this morning when police got information that Rodney Clavell was inside a brothel on King William Street. Now, that's just opposite the old Trim site there in the city. As you can imagine, it's had a huge impact on the CBD this morning. Pubs and cafes and offices have been locked down. For commuters, it's been utter chaos. Tens of thousands have been affected by it. 4 blocks have effectively gone into lockdown, and police have surrounded the building, the brothel, where we know that there were some other people being held hostage. It's unclear whether there are more women inside the building with Mr. Clavell at the moment, but I'm sure that will become clear in the next hour or so. Now, what police have made very clear in the last few minutes is that even though we are in our 3rd week of this manhunt, that this approach they're taking is softly, softly. Rodney Clavell has always believed that police are out to get him, and today the head of this police operation, Superintendent Peter Harvey, took the extraordinary step of appealing to him personally through the media and assuring him that he won't be hurt if this ends peacefully. Let's have a listen to what he's had to say.
This opportunity I'm going to take again to ask Rodney to pick up the phone. We need to talk and need to be very clear that this can be over in an hour or it can take 5 days, because no one's leaving. And we are committed to ending it safely and concluding this to the best of our ability in the safest way we can.
Jessica Adamson joins us again live from the CBD. Jess, what's the latest?
Well, John, we haven't heard anything more from police. Understandably, they would have their hands full after this dramatic development just half an hour or so ago when we saw 4 women being escorted from the building, which Rodney Clavell has been holed up inside since 1 o'clock this morning. Now, the pictures are very clear. The women appear to be in a fair bit of distress, particularly the last of them. And you can understand that after a fairly harrowing experience, she would be, totally emotionally drained. She would now be talking with police and telling them what she can about what is going on inside that building. It's still unclear if there are any more women or men inside that building apart from Mr. Clavell, but police have reiterated that they won't be rushing this. They will be taking as long as they need to get Mr. Clavell out safely. One thing that we haven't talked about much this morning is his history of steroid and methamphetamine use, and police are very wary of this. He has been a big user in the past. Whether or not he's been using it in the past few days, it's unclear, but certainly police would be taking that into account. Now, we talked briefly before the breaking news about the commuter chaos which this lockdown has sparked. Let's bring in Ross Stargett again from Adelaide Metro. Hello again, Ross. Ross, can you update us on just what you'll be doing if this siege is still going into peak hour this evening?
Yeah, we're meeting at the moment, Jess, with police and all of our bus contractors to understand what we can throw at this tonight.
We're going to cross now to Jess Adamson, who's in the city. We understand police are about to hold some sort of press conference. Jessica?
Jane, that's right. The head of this police operation, Superintendent Peter Harvey, has just arrived back at the scene. He is going to speak to the media to update us in about 5 or 6 minutes' time on what's happened. But I understand that all of the hostages are out of the building now, so that is good news. It is unconfirmed at this stage, but that's what we are hearing here, that all of the hostages are out of the building, so now police can concentrate on getting Rodney Clavell out peacefully. We'll keep you updated as the news comes to hand.
Indeed, and we're able to cross down to our reporter on the scene, Jessica Adamson. Jess, we've just seen you heard you at the press conference with Detective Superintendent Peter Harvey. I noted that you spoke about you asked a question about a negotiator who'd worked with Clavell before. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, Jane, Peter Harvey alluded to that this morning. There are two negotiators, Anne-Marie and Alex. Both have worked with South Australian Police for many years. Anne-Marie in particular has worked with Rodney Clavell, and I'm not sure what incident it was. He didn't want to elaborate. It may have been that siege back in 2004. It may have been another incident, but she has worked with him before. He wouldn't give too many details on in what capacity, but they really are, as we heard in that press conference, trying to grab at anything that they can. So if there's any level of trust there between Anne-Marie and Rodney Clavell, they'll take it. They're just trying to use anything that they can to get an in with him to initially make contact, and they'll go from there.
What's it like in the city at the moment, Jess? Are they relaxed any of the boundaries they put up?
Look, the cordons haven't been relaxed, John, but there really has been a bit of a mood change in the last 10 or 15 minutes. It's lunchtime, of course. People are starting to come out of their offices. I'm just looking, I know it's fairly quiet behind me, but looking this way, I can see mothers with prams, city workers coming out, a lot of people taking photos and really checking out what's going on here. As you can imagine, the media contingent here is enormous. And perhaps they've been watching our coverage and get the feeling that things have relaxed slightly, and so they're brave enough now to come out and have a look and see what's going on. But certainly it feels like things are starting to get back to normal, which I guess is deceiving in a way, because just 400 metres south of me, Rodney Clavell is still holed up in that building. Now, what I understand police are doing now is talking with those four terribly traumatised women who were taken out of the building. You'd have to assume that the first things that they would want to know is he armed? What's he got? How much ammo has he got? What is his state of mind? Has he been using drugs? And what's his plan? Now, police will need every bit of that insight so that they can go forward and work out exactly what they're going to do. Having said that, there is absolutely no rush here. They, as we have said many times, are going to take it very slowly. And they've had 3 weeks to prepare for this. Let's be honest, the manhunt, which they have just been incredibly thorough with, has taken quite a long time. And so the Star Group, who are well trained and well rehearsed in these things, would have gone through many different scenarios over the last couple of weeks, working out what they would do in this situation, what they would do in another situation. This isn't new to them. They're highly trained, they're good at it, and they will. It will come to an end, no doubt, at some point. They just have their fingers crossed that it happens peacefully.
Now, Jess, you said this has been going on for some time. Police first swooped on a house in Adelaide back in May, where they originally thought Clavell was. Is that where this latest sort of pursuit of him really started?
It all began when a warrant was issued in the Holden Hill Court in late May, and that was, of course, for firearms offences and a couple of other serious things that he was wanted on. Since then, they have raided a number of homes, including one at Edwardstown. I know there was another one at Seaton, and they've been trying to talk to, well, obviously been trying to find him, but also during those raids trying to get some intelligence from the people in those houses, talking to his associates, anybody that can shed any light on where he's been. And as some of you would remember, they've also made repeated appeals for his associates to give him up, not to harbour him, because they too could be charged with serious criminal offences. We could be here for some time. I certainly don't think the police are going to rush this, even though the hostages are out. You know, we are still in a very kind of busy, built-up city area. He is armed and he is dangerous. He has a very long criminal history, and even though the hostages are out, they're still not going to be taking any chances. It's softly. Their first hope is that they can make some contact with him to talk him through this and negotiate with him to make it a peaceful resolution.
Thanks very much, Jess. Jess Adamson there, live in the city as this siege with Rodney Clavell continues.
Let's go to Jess Adamson. She's there on the spot.
Well, John, as we know, 4 city blocks have been locked down, and one of the casualties of this operation is St Aloysius College. Now, we know that's a big girls' school on Wakefield Street. We've just spoken to some parents of students there. The students have been placed into lockdown. The parents are pretty anxious, as you can understand. They're asking a lot of questions. Will their girls be released on time? Will they have to stay there if this goes on well into the night, or how will they get them out? So just so many people affected by this story. The feeling that I'm getting is that police are not going to rush this still. They are definitely going to take their time, cordon, control and negotiate. That's their plan. And of course, not that we'd suggest that they would do anything untoward, but there are cameras all over the city, especially in the bit where they are operating. Their every move is being scrutinised, so this does have to be done and executed perfectly. They'll be doing everything they can to end it peacefully. Back to you.
And Jessica Adamson joins me now from the scene. Jessica, good morning. Police still have the building surrounded.
Good morning, Rob. Yes, that's right, they do. And this city has been brought to a standstill. The tent siege began at around 1 o'clock this morning when police got information that Rodney Clavell was inside a city brothel. Now, since then, they have shut down 4 city blocks. Mr. Clavell is believed to be armed and has plenty of ammunition, police say. They are using police negotiators to try and get through to him. They have surrounded the building and they have heavily armed Star Group officers on several rooftops. But their message is very clear. They are not planning to go into the building anytime soon. In fact, they are very much hoping to speak to Mr. Clavell, and they are appealing to him through the media. Now, Rodney Clavell, who has a long criminal history, has always believed that police have it in for him. And so the head of this police operation, Superintendent Peter Harvey, took the extraordinary step this morning of appealing to him personally and to reassure him that he won't be hurt during this process. Let's have a listen to what he's had to say.
We want to end this peacefully. I'm here to make sure it ends peacefully. We're totally committed to that. All we need is for you to speak to us and come out, and everything can end safely this morning.
Now, this manhunt has entered its 3rd week. Police have raided more than 80 properties, but as I said before, they're in no rush. They have said they won't be forcing their way in. They're happy to wait hours, days, even a week if it takes that long. They have reassured us in the last few minutes that the people inside the brothel with Mr. Clavell are safe, and they are hoping that things end peacefully later today. Rob.
Thank you, Jessica Adamson in Adelaide.
Good evening. The state's most wanted man, Rodney Clavell, is dead. He took his own life during a siege at a King William Street massage parlour. Jessica Adamson's been at the scene for most of the day. Jess, this isn't how police wanted it to end.
It's certainly not, John. In fact, police did everything they could to try and end this manhunt peacefully. But Rodney Clavell's body was found inside this city building after a 13-hour tense standoff which locked down the city. Now, for 14 days now, police have thrown everything they have at trying to track down the wanted fugitive. They've raided more than 80 homes. They appealed to him to give himself up. But close associates say Clavell, who always believed police had it in for him, in the end chose to go on his own terms.
Fears were realised when hostages were also caught up in this drama.
Yeah, that's right. Just before midday, there was a dramatic development in the siege when 4 women were released from this city building. Now, they emerged escorted by Star Group officers into the hands of police. They looked incredibly traumatised. Police say they haven't been physically injured, but it is still unclear what they went through at the hands of South Australia's most wanted man. Tonight, they are being counselled and interviewed by police. Jane.
Thanks, Jess.